11 p.m. These are the headlines. The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, chairs a working meeting on exports. And strong efforts to diversify economy beyond hydrocarbons yield positive economic indicators, driven by President's vision to promote exports and global competitiveness. Algerians abroad increasingly involved in national economy. Key takeaways from Algeria Rice Summit. We also head to Brussels, where youth-led initiative is fostering exchange and collaboration. Growing support for Sahrawi self-determination. The Moroccan Association for Human Rights calls for respect of UN resolutions on the Sahrawi issue and an end to the suffering of the Sahrawi people. Welcome back, everyone. First of all, the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, chaired today at the headquarters of the Presidency a working meeting on exports. The meeting was held in the presence of the Principal Private Secretary of the Presidency, Boualam Boualam, members of the government, business leaders, and members of the Algerian Economic Renewal Council, including its President, Kamal Moula. The meeting provided an opportunity to hear the concerns of economic operators, propose solutions, and present their investment projects aimed at opening new horizons for national exports and making them a pillar of economic development. The Minister of Foreign Trade and Export Promotions stated that the meeting allowed for review of economic operators' concerns and investment proposals. The President issued strict directives for the swift and effective handling of their concerns.
Today's meeting was fruitful since it enabled us to listen to the grievances of the economic operators and their concerns. The President of the Republic gave firm instructions to deal quickly and effectively with all the concerns expressed and to steer us towards a new strategic vision to make our country a pole of excellence in exports.
And the President of the Algerian Economic Renewal Council welcomed the outcomes of the meeting, which covered the 2024 review and future prospects.
This meeting, chaired by the President of the Republic, was attended by the country's biggest non-hydrocarbon exporters and above all enabled us to take stock of all that has been achieved in terms of exports since we are now at the end of 2024, while at the same time addressing future prospects. The economic operators present outlined all the difficulties they are facing and which are blocking their activity. The President of the Republic listened attentively and issued firm decisions concerning the support of these operators in the field and the removal of all obstacles, because it was noted that despite the great potential available to these operators, they face certain shortcomings in terms of mechanisms. This meeting was therefore very fruitful, and we came away with a roadmap drawn by the President of the Republic, which we have taken on board as business leaders.
And thanks to the strong will of the state to build a real, diversified and non-hydrocarbon-based economy, the market indicators have recorded positive figures in recent years. Through the wise vision of the President of the Republic, which aims to promote exports and diversify the national economy, capable to face up to global competition. Details with Najwa Jaddin, Rani Al-Bahri.
Algeria has made significant strides in diversifying its economy, as evidenced by a remarkable rise in non-hydrocarbon exports in recent years, which have reached $7 billion, a record high compared to previous years. These figures not only reflect a positive economic trend, but also represent the success of the country's new strategic vision, which aims to gradually reduce its reliance on oil and gas revenues. The ambition is even higher. Algeria is setting its sight on an even more ambitious target, $10 billion in non-hydrocarbon exports. This goal will be achieved by strengthening national production across various sectors, opening new markets and reinforcing regional and international trade agreements. This ambition underscores Algeria's desire to build a more resilient, diversified and sustainable economy. The country's export growth has already had a significant positive impact, leading to a reduction in the trade deficit, which has long been a concern for the economy. A positive balance in external accounts, further proving that Algeria is on the right path to achieving economic stability and balance. To confirm that diversification is the solution within the framework of its new plan, Algeria has focused on promising sectors to boost its exports outside of hydrocarbons, including agriculture, manufacturing industries, industrial products, tourism, technology and innovation. In light of this economic momentum, Algeria is focusing on continuing to improve the business environment and facilitating administrative procedures for exporters, enhancing economic stability, in addition to stimulating national institutions and encouraging them to open up abroad. It's a promising path with a clear vision. It wasn't the result of chance, but rather the result of strong political will and structural reforms aimed at building a diversified and sustainable economy.
The Algerian diaspora in Belgium, driven by new legislation and supportive economic climate, is actively engaging in investment opportunities to strengthen ties with their homeland and contribute in its economic growth. Najah Tayar.
The Algerian community in Belgium, more specifically in Brussels, launched an initiative titled One Idea, One Young Man, an event aiming to strengthen ties between the Algerians living abroad and their homeland, with a particular focus on investment opportunities in Algeria. The Algerian diaspora, especially the young people, have ideas and are keen to invest. Algerians want to contribute to Algeria. Information is being shared thanks in particular to the actions of the President of the Republic, Tebboune. We're living at a time when the Algerian community is at the convergence of interests. I came back from Algeria with the idea of investing there. I saw that there are opportunities that could enable us to generate wealth for our country's economy. The new legislation has made investment opportunities abundant and diverse, providing an ideal way for the Algerian diaspora to contribute to the country's ongoing economic growth. It's an extraordinary time for synergies between the big players. It's motivating, and the will is there in this extraordinary context of wealth creation. Economic indicators are improving, and Algeria takes pride in the determination of its nationals, particularly young people, who are keen to invest in emerging sectors and launch startups.
That's the special envoy of the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, the Minister of State, Minister of Foreign Affairs, National Community Abroad and African Affairs, Ahmed Attaf, arrived today in Addis Ababa, the capital of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, as part of an official visit aimed at strengthening the joint traditions of consultation and coordination between the two brotherly countries and raising bilateral relations to the highest level. During this visit to Addis Ababa, Ahmed Attaf is due to be received by the Ethiopian Prime Minister, Abiy Ahmed Ali, and hand him a written message of the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune. The Minister of Foreign Affairs will be also received by the Ethiopian President and his Ethiopian counterpart. On a working visit to Kuwait, the Minister of State, Minister of Energy, Mines and Renewable Energies, Mohammed Arqab, hailed the great efforts made by the Organization of Arab Petroleum Exporting Countries to develop its activities in the light of current developments. Taking the floor at the 113th meeting of the organization's Council of Ministers, Mohammed Arqab called for joint efforts among the member states to safeguard their interests. The organization's members have agreed to restructure and redraft its founding agreement and expand its activities while changing its name to the Arab Energy Organization. And on the sidelines of this energy event, the Minister of State, Minister of Energy, Mines and Renewable Energies, Mohammed Arqab, had talks with the Minister of Petroleum and Mineral Resources of the Arab Republic of Egypt, Karim Ali Badawi, and the Libyan Acting Minister of Petroleum and Gas, Khalifa Rajab Abd al-Sadiq. The occasion was also devoted to review ways and means to strengthen their cooperation and partnership relations. At least 20 civilians, including children, were killed and others injured this night in a Zionist shelling of an UNRWA-run school near Nasser Hospital, sheltering displaced families in western Khan Yunis, southern Gaza. In northern Gaza, Zionist forces also demolished multiple residential buildings in Jabalia refugee camps. And this evening, another journalist was killed, the third journalist to be killed within 48 hours. And the Strip, Ahmed Al-Louh, was killed in a Zionist bombing that targeted the Nusayrat camp and the central Gaza Strip. Palestinians were also targeted at dawn today. The massacre committed in Khalil Awaida school in Beit Hanun town in northern Gaza took the lives of over 40 Palestinians, with the victims' bodies completely burned. And the support for the right to self-determination of the Sahrawi is growing even within Morocco. The Moroccan's Association for Human Rights calls for respect of UN resolutions on the Sahrawi issue. Its president affirms that it is time to put an end to the suffering of the Sahrawi people. Details with Rania Al-Bahri.
Recommendations and advisory opinions of the UN bodies for more than 5 decades are clear. The right of the Sahrawi people to self-determination is inalienable and imprescriptible, an international recognition which rated daily by freedom-loving people around the world. Another voice is added to these, that of the Moroccan Association for Human Rights, whose president affirmed that it was the time to put an end to the suffering of the Sahrawi people who fight every day to gain their independence. The position of the association with regard to the Sahrawi cause is clear. During our last conference, we announced that the association was for the self-determination of the Sahrawi people in accordance with the UN resolutions. Negotiations must be held between all parties in order to arrive at a satisfactory solution for all, not for one party at the expense of the other. We must avoid escalation. We support the right of the Sahrawi people to self-determination. Several events, demonstrations and gatherings are regularly organized in Europe and around the world in support of the Sahrawi cause and to call for the respect of the right of the Sahrawi people to dispose of their land, which cannot be done without holding a referendum in accordance with the principles of the Charter of the United Nations, which, as a reminder, included Western Sahara on the list of territories to be decolonized in 1963.
In Morocco, and amid escalating socio-economic crises, protests, especially from lawyers, denouncing the injustice and oppression carried out by the Makhzen that persists, ignoring the citizens' demands, reacting with repression instead. Najah Tayyar.
Morocco is grappling with an unprecedented socio-economic crisis, leading to widespread demonstrations and protests across several key sectors. Lawyers from various towns in Morocco have now joined the movement, taking to the streets to protest the injustice and discrimination they face, particularly at the hands of Mohammed VI's enforcers. I asked for asylum. I can no longer live in a country where human rights are constantly flouted. I am a lawyer and I can't see my brothers suffering everywhere in Morocco. There is no future for young people. In response to the intensity of the protests, the Moroccan authorities deployed security and military forces to brutally repress and disperse the demonstrators. The Makhzen is the main cause of the misery that reigns in Morocco. They don't care about the people's demands. There's no future here. We can't even get enough to eat. To tell you the truth, I've even advised my own sons to leave the country immediately. And while the social protest flows on, relentless and unyielding, the Makhzen remains silent, turning away from the cries of its people.
That was it for today's news. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.